You can use pine, you can use cedar, whatever stays green for a while, other than leaves like oak and all those type of woods. You want to use like evergreens, work good. And I have a lot of those around here. You also want to take a matter of your surroundings. I live where there's a lot of pine and cedar trees. There's also a lot of oak, but there's a minority of the harder woods. So that's what I'm going to use to make this blind. Now, you can use as many of these poles as you want, but I'm using 3 because I'm going to have 2 sides to this. I'm going to have a side that's facing where I think they're more than likely coming, which is probably about this way, and a side where I think they're also coming, which is this way. So it's going to be kind of like a V when I make this. Now, you want to make these poles longer than you actually want them, because you're going to be cutting them down. You also want to take matter if you're a bow hunter, if anything will be in the way of your arrows, And so this is a little bit too tall, I think. So I'm actually going to cut this a little bit. You can use a machete, an axe, a saw, or a hatchet. I'm using the saw. And what I'm doing is I'm going to cut it like this. Not like this, but like this. So then I already have a point on it that'll make it easier for me to put in the ground. Okay, and I can use this knife to sharpen that up too some. Now I'm just gonna stick this in the ground where I want it. Now if it's not going in the ground, if you maybe have hard rocks or something in the way, what you can do, you can take a knife or a machete or something, and you can just drill that hole out or dig it out like this. We'll do it right here. Kind of get you going. Kind of twist it in there. You can even wedge it with rocks and sticks. I'll show you that. I've got this piece here. I can actually cut this down more and make wedges out of it that I would usually use for kindling or to help for firewood. Okay, so I got this here. I can take this like this, and I can take a hammer or a hatchet or an axe, and what I can do, I got this head of a hatchet, old hatchet I had, and I can just take this, or I can even use a rock, and just pound it in there. Okay, if it's too big, you can still, if it's not going in, you can still cut it down, make it smaller, so it'll go in easier. Just like so. You can even, once you kind of got those, you can tie them around, but I don't have any cordage, so I'm just kind of doing it kind of like this. Okay, now that I kind of got a hole made, I can take this, put it in there, push it in, pack dirt around it, put rocks in it, I can wedge it in. There you go, kind of like that. Get this out of my way. There we go. Okay, so then kind of stand up and use that to shoot with. Okay, now I'm going to put a pole where I think they're also on my other side here, right here. Okay, so then I have this whole spot right here covered, and I'll put one here too, so I have this whole spot covered. With these thicker pieces, I can take my machete and just cut into them like this. Make a point at the bottom. Move this out of my way. Okay, so I got a point like that. Now, that'll make it stick in the ground easier. You can twist it around, and you can wedge it in there with pieces of wood. Got this piece, has a good wedge on it that I cut earlier. Okay, now I'll put the other one right here. this. And now, I'm just going to stick it in the ground too. And now these poles don't have to be straight. They can be curvy too. And if you need to, with this other piece, if it's long enough, you can just take a piece off of it and make a wedge. Just like that. That's if you need, only if you need to. Okay. Okay. Now, we're going to put this on, this top layer. We're simply just going to do this. Okay. And cut it. Okay. A lot of water came out of there. Oh, I put it on